podcasting is just a tool for me.
Yeah.
It was about creating a space where you could connect with other people. So
I was just going to say how important.
Everything linked.
I think that's a big part of life nowadays, is that what we're missing is that connection with one another. And I think that's a great thing with podcasts as well, is that people actually sit down and have a conversation where there's nothing else going on but right here.
Yeah.
It's our minds become almost in sync with it as well. And I think there's I think there's like a therapeutic factor to it as well, where you can just really connect with someone and it's just like, you're here. You're nowhere else. You know what I mean? Because we're so distracted with the life that we live now. It's just like, podcasts have finally given us a space to sit down and actually talk, where that may have never ever been there before. Like, when have you ever like you wouldn't, unless this was recorded right now, and maybe we would sit here talking face to face, Dan, who knows?
We probably wouldn't.
It's another, I don't think we would, but it's another reason just to be with someone else, you know what I mean? And be with them in a much deeper sense. And that's why I like the whole primal aspect, because it's like you said, deeper connection. You have everything in that room. So people sit down, connection.
Yeah.
How much more connected are they going to get?
It's funny. I ask everybody. I asked you guys, I think, when you came in as well.
Yeah.
When was the last time you sat down to have a conversation that was really deep and connected? That wasn't kind of, how was your day? And all that kind of, because people have good relationships with each other. I'm not saying they don't, but the last time you had a really deep, meaningful conversation, most people can't give me the answer to the question, because they go, sure, it was only, and they're like, Jesus, when was it?
And now that you say that now, I'm thinking, if it wasn't for a podcast, I can't tell you the last time I had a really
and like,
deep.
I'll ask anybody who's listening here now, like, have an actual think about it. And for some people, they say, I was yesterday with my friend, but there was a situation created where maybe you and your friend were walking through the woods, and there was a space created where you had an opportunity to be deeply connected, or your phone wasn't there, or something like that.
I was just going to mention, if the phone's around, there's no
the phone's
real,
around, it's a disaster.
No, it's not happening. You talked about focus recently as well, and one of the key elements of focus, I believe, is just not being distracted.
Oh yeah.
Just take away the element of not being distracted, but because where attention goes, energy flows. It's so true. Attention is everything in this life. Like the whole social media scene, people want eyes on screens looking at what you're doing. That's the game is all about attention. But the great thing here right now is that the attention and focus is solely here and nothing else.
Yeah.
And it's like you just go down rabbit holes. You know, you go down maybe a rabbit hole on YouTube, but with a conversation, it's just like you're just finding these different routes. Like, even this conversation now is not planning on how it was going to go. Not that I had a set plan. But we're talking about something that I never thought we'd talk about. And the reason why is because we're facilitating that conversation to happen. Yeah. I believe so, anyway. No, you're dead right. You're dead right. And it is, you said therapeutic there. It is a form of therapy for us. Yeah. How do you feel after a podcast? Very good. After having done one, you feel good? I have the majority of them. The few I've done, the few I've done so far. Yeah, I felt good. You feel energized. Energized. Now some of them can be quite mentally you're tired. Tired, yeah. But when in a great sense. In a great sense, yeah. Like you've done a good workout. Exactly. You know you've gotten something from it. Yeah. I always say my brain feels nourished. The amount of people who say when they leave the studio it was like therapy. I laugh because it technically is therapy, because all a therapist does is sits and allows you to express yourself. That's what it is. And if you can't express yourself, you internalize a lot of stuff, or you don't process a lot of stuff. So think about going through our and some of the stuff I would have studied through the work I did, or through the kind of the medical work we did. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, but think about all of the inputs you have in a day. And you don't process the vast majority of those. You don't give yourself time to actually, okay, something has happened. What do I think about that? How do I feel? That's so true. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You just get pissed off and you shout at them. And then you go on to the next thing. The phone rings and it's just constant input. You never give your brain a chance to actually process. Someone cut me off there. Why did I get so angry? What was going on? Maybe there's something going on in his day. Yeah. You don't work through those thought patterns. So you leave all these open loops in your head, and the brain doesn't like that. So when you give yourself, like, we didn't plan this at all, to talk about this stuff. No. This is brilliant. When you give yourself space, this is why meditation works. You literally were leading up to it, Dan. But this is why it works. And for me, just because I'm not great at practicing meditation, but for me, this is a form of meditation. Because I'm saying things now that are in my head and I think about, but sometimes I'm actually forming thoughts and words as I'm saying them. And my brain is like, this is unbelievable. Your brain doesn't even know it's there. It's like it's just coming out. Well, maybe it knows somewhat. Your body knows it's there because it manifests as stress or anxiety or illness. Yeah. But if you can give your brain a way to process those thoughts. Naval talks about this. If you listen to Naval talk about meditation, and Rogan asked him, and he said, like, what? Dan has only listened to this podcast. Yes. I listened to it last week. I listened to it regularly. But Naval's idea on this is, meditation is about allowing the brain to work through all this stuff, and eventually you get to a point where there is nothing, the inbox is empty, and that's kind of this
inner peace.
Yeah.
Now, maybe there'll never be inner peace because we're always putting more inputs in.
That's the enlightenment moment.
Yeah, but imagine getting your inbox down to 5 emails a day as opposed to 5 million emails a day. How much lower your stress levels would be. So conversation for me, that's why I got into this industry. Conversation for me is that form of therapy for most people who can't practice meditation or journaling, or it doesn't work for them. Conversation works for everybody, in my opinion.
It does.
Because all you're doing here is allowing me to get this out of me, and I'm allowing you to get it. And we're doing a dance with each other.
It's a lovely dynamic,
And for some people, they just need to talk. Like, I had a woman in last week. Everybody says it to me. I'm like, why would you like to start a podcast? And they kind of give me the generic answers. Oh, it'd be good for business. Good for business. I was like, no. Like, why? Really, why? They're like, they'd start doing this stuff. Like, it's in me. I have to get some stuff out. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And I know that's in almost everybody. So why I love what I do is I get to facilitate that. Why I built the room the way it is because the room facilitates that. So, but it is a form of therapy, and it's about helping the brain close those loops and kind of process all the inputs.
Open loops, the brain hates
It
open
fucking hates open loops.
I heard this recently, actually. I started reading James Smith's new book. I think it's called How to Be More
Confident.
How to Be Confident, and he picked up something from when he was on Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson, and they talked about
hero.
Yeah, great guy. They talk about the Zeigarnik effect, I think it is. And it's this open loop system, and I think I don't know what he was exactly, the guy that picked it up, but he was relating it to waiters working in a restaurant, that they could recite the bill, but once the bill was closed, it was gone.
Yes. And
how it relates to our own lives is if you have all these, and I have them in my own life as well, as like mental open loops. So you have these loops that are open, that say you have to do a certain thing and you're not doing it, you keep putting it off. This loop keeps playing in your head until you close it off, and then it's gone. It's like you can just send that email away. It's no longer a draft. It's just gone. But if you don't close them, what happens is then loops just keep on going. And the same thing, if you haven't processed anything, what happens? And then it's like your computer. It just keeps on building up till it crashes. It's like, fuck this, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I need some mental space.